There we go. Welcome to Tuesdays at 2. I am your host, Antoinette LaGrossa. Uh, Today, we make the dreaded mid-year curriculum switch simple and help you to easily ensure that there are no gaps left in your students' um, knowledge foundation. For those of you who are new to homeschooling or ShillerLearning, we are part of the nonprofit Rising Stars Foundation, and our goal is to help students of all abilities maximize their potential by getting the benefits of Montessori-based personalized learning. We support parents and educators with no lesson prep math and language arts, as well as sensory, grace and courtesy, geography resources, and we have a ton of wonderful free um, downloads on the ShillerLearning blog. So for more tips, be sure to hit that subscribe button and check out the blog as well. Okay, so you are caring, involved parents. Let's get you some tools to make the most of your homeschooling efforts. Okay, some tips before you get started with the ShillerLearning diagnostic testing. Some pros, our testing is multisensory. So kids are actually going to enjoy doing it. The testing is included in the kits. So unless you are using the testing in advance to determine between kit levels, or if you're using our diagnostic testing as a tool with another curriculum that you're using to ensure that there are no gaps that your student has. Then the testing, instead of it being included in a kit, you can purchase that separately. There is a promo code for free diagnostic testing. Actually, we're going to give it to you 100% free. And that, Amanda, if you can put that into the chat box. If you have any technical issues, by the way, you can also message Amanda Crawford. She is on this session with us also. Hi, Amanda. Uh, Thank you for that. So it is T at 2DTK. If you are watching the replay, that promo code is down in the comments. Okay, so now you've got your testing. You can download that for free with that promo code, or if you know that, okay, my child is 7 and hasn't yet mastered 4-digit multiplication and division. So, okay, my child is going to be in Math Kit 1, but I don't know where in Math Kit 1. Then you can wait until you get your kit, and it'll be right in your books also. The inside front cover of each of the lesson books shows you where to find the 4 comprehensive diagnostic tests that are in that book. With these tests, they are going to make sure that you can start right from the very beginning of that subject foundation, be it math or language arts, and ensure that indeed your child has no gaps. Okay, and not only is the testing multisensory, they'll have body movement in the first test. That's actually what I had used when, oh gosh, is it 17 years ago? I guess it is 17 years ago. I was switching my oldest child into the curriculum. I started with that first diagnostic test, and that is what he fell in love with because he was jumping, he was clapping, and it wasn't just all paper and pencil. Much of the testing is done verbally. Um, a lot of the other questions can be improvised to be done verbally as well. So, one of the tips I give is if you're testing with an older student and they're going to be going through a lot of that testing, just improvise to do it verbally, and then they can have a blank sheet of paper or a copy of the test to write something if writing is indeed required to demonstrate knowledge. Okay. Um, so you've got your test from your free downloads or from your kits. And with the testing, again, we are going to go back from to the very beginning and not make assumptions about what our child does or does not know. This is a common mistake that many parents as well as educators make when placing a child. They say, okay, my child is 7, so I'm going to get a second grade math book or language arts book. Well, maybe your child isn't ready for that level, or um, they're well beyond it. So, we want to not make assumptions, find and fill any gaps from earlier on. And the questioning is going to be light, fun, and it will go quickly, I promise. So for that older child, by the way, by starting off with those earlier questions, you're going to help rebuild that student's self-esteem, which tends to take a hit once they have been struggling with a subject. So best practice is even if you were working with a middle school student, seventh, eighth grade, even start at the first question from the first test from the first book, whether it's math book 1 or language arts book 1. And if you're in a later kit, you can now get those earlier diagnostic tests for free with that promo code. Okay, so at some point, uh, the child is going to answer a question incorrectly. It's not uncommon for middle school students even to get 1 or 2 questions incorrect on that very first math test. Things like rows and columns and even an odd are very commonly missed questions for the older kids. So the moment that you discover that knowledge gap, it's actually a time for excitement because that means that you just found one of those gaps from earlier on in their foundation that's sabotaging today's success. Um, Now, we are going to give you the action plan for filling that also. So if you are using the testing out of the book, so for instance, in the language arts or Math Kit 1, it'll tell you right in the test itself, if the students were to answer this question incorrectly, it gives you a list of lessons that are needed in order to learn the concept for that question. Okay, so you can actually use these tests with if you're not using ShillerLearning curricula, you can use it with your curriculum by simply seeing what they've answered wrong. And then you're going to reverse engineer your curriculum a little bit by looking up that concept in your index and finding where that is covered, and then just go ahead and do those lessons before going to the next test. So you've just made your first personalized learning plan. We're also going to take a look at our lesson plan builder, which makes it even easier than just looking up the seeing the list of lessons right there in the book with your test. So the lesson list, it's right in the book for math books 1, 2, and 3, all the language arts books. For Math Kit 2, books 4, 5, and 6, which take you all the way through pre-algebra. Older students like to know and are reassured by the fact that when they are finished with the ShillerLearning Math Book 6, it is not 7th grade that they're ready for. After that, it is any Algebra 1 program. So once they finish with our Math Book 6, they're ready for high school level math. And so for those older students who've been struggling and are, taking a step back and filling some of those gaps, which will help them start to make connections between concepts that they, weren't making before. So it really helps you'll just see those aha moments and those connections being made, and they will start moving through at an accelerated pace. Okay, so check your printed answer guides for lesson books 4, 5, and 6 for that lesson list. Okay. Now, best practice is to do those lessons before going to the next test. Because if you were to do all of that testing, like a batch testing all at once, without filling those gaps that were first identified, then, the child, if we fill those gaps as soon as they're identified, they may answer a question correctly that they would have gotten wrong on a later test if we hadn't filled that earlier gap. So it's going to be more efficient, more enjoyable for the child if you fill gaps after each test is completed. Unless, of course, you're using the test as a placement tool to try to determine, between, let's say, Math Kit 1 for pre-K to 3rd or Math Kit 2 for 4th through pre-algebra. Language Arts Kit A, that is generally going to be pre-K kindergarten for most kids, depending on when they've started learning language skills. And that's going to introduce letters, letter sounds, beginning to blend simple CVC words. Or Language Arts Kit B, which covers 1st through 4th grade concepts. And Language Arts Kit B, by the way, we get a lot of middle school students using that to fill gaps from earlier on. Okay, so now we're filling gaps. They're making connections. So this is, not high stakes testing. Our testing is done as part of the learning process. And by the way, the process is the same if you have worked through a section and are using the testing as a assessment tool, a review test. If they get anything wrong, that key is letting you know which activities did not stay with your child over time. We want that long-term retention. And so those tests and the personalized learning plans that accompany them are going to ensure that every child is getting that solid foundation, 100% mastery of every concept, because we're going to redirect the student back to revisit those things in order to get that long-term retention. Okay, so the goal of our testing is not getting a grade. It is to help your child learn more effectively. We want to create a learning environment in which the student is free from anxiety of making mistakes. Okay, so our personalized lesson plan builder, you just saw how you can create those lesson plans by just looking at the list of lessons in the book. We also have my favorite underutilized feature on the ShillerLearning website, and that is the personalized lesson plan builder. So you can find that under the mostly free stuff tab. Our website, by the way, very excited. It is getting a redesign. So that may look slightly different in the near future. Um, you can go to the ShillerLearning.com required lessons. That's the URL for it. Or if you are already a Schiller Learning customer or you've downloaded your diagnostic tests for free with that promo code that is in the comments. Oh, there. Um, in if you go to my account and my downloads, you're going to find one of the things in there is the section for educator helpers. There's two links there that I want you to use. First is the link to the personalized lesson plan builder. That's what I'm going to show you now. And then there's a link to see your existing lesson plans. We're going to take a look at that one too. Okay, so if you just click on personalized lesson plan builder, you're going to get to this screen, which makes it easier than ever to create personalized learning plans specifically for your child's needs. So let's say we just gone through and done that test, the first test, and our child has gotten a handful of lessons wrong. We go to test 1-1, simply check off whichever lessons that child has answered incorrectly. You'll scroll to the bottom. There's a place to enter that child's name. I do like to put my kids' names in there. This is within your account. No one else is going to see this, so it is completely private. But that just helps me. I have 5 kids. I've homeschooled, and that just helps me keep everything straight between all of their different plans. Okay, then if we go ahead and click on see your existing lesson plan. Oh, so on that, once you scroll to the bottom, plug in the name, hit submit, you'll see that plan like is on the screen there. But you can come back at any time and just click on that link to see your existing lesson plans and see those different lists of lessons for different children. Now, if you are a ShillerLearning customer and have the kit for which you have done that diagnostic testing, take note of underneath this list of lessons, just above where it says lesson count 7, there is a link to a PDF file. What our system does for you, and this is incredible, and if you are working with even one student, you're going to love this, but you're really going to love it when you're working with more than one and having, and you're printing extra copies of things for multiple students. What our system does is that it creates a brand new PDF file that is going to have just the lessons that your child needs based on that testing result. So it is truly making it easier than ever for your child to very efficiently and effectively find and fill gaps from earlier on. And as in educator time management, this tool is going to be one of your best friends. Okay. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put those into the chat there. Okay, so we've got the personalized learning plan. One of the tools that we have is our completed worksheet. This is included with all of our kits. If you don't have ShillerLearning curriculum, there was actually a link to this document in the email that went out this morning on Follow the Child. And there'll be a link for that in the comments below with the video too. Okay, so, and with that, this is another learning management tool that will be one of your best friends. This is going to help you give the child ownership and management of their own education. Use this for your ShillerLearning curriculum and all of your other programs as well. We recommend starting with 15 minutes a day for a 3 or 4-year-old, adding 5 minutes a day for each year of age after that, up to about 45 minutes to an hour for those older middle school students. So with this sheet, you'll jot down the end. In the beginning, you can do the filling out, but we really want you to guide the student to filling this out, taking ownership, and then deciding when something goes into that column for lessons completed or the very important column for lessons to be revisited. We do not tell you that, okay, your child needs 20 pages of addition and subtraction math fact practice, because not every child does. Some kids are going to need a mere 20 problems instead of 20 pages, whereas other kids will need to practice that same concept, for maybe months or longer before they are able to master it. The important thing is that the student moves through as they master the material without worrying about grade level. So that column for lessons to be revisited, once the child is able to determine for themselves when they've truly mastered something and when it's something they still need to practice and keep in that column for lessons to revisit, they are going to be a better student in all disciplines. So this is something, it's really simple, but don't be tempted to overlook it. Utilize this. You are going to love it, especially, by the way, if you are in a state that requires record keeping and reporting. So I homeschool in Pennsylvania, and we are required to submit to a homeschool evaluator on a yearly basis, a record of our child's work for the year. Copies of these have always been a really convenient way, along with some copies of samples of the work. It has really simplified that homeschool record keeping. There also, there's a link in this morning's email to the competency and closure video series. That's going to give you additional background on utilizing those 2 C's and knowing the possible outcomes of a lesson. So you can use that along with this completed worksheet. Okay, the other thing that's going to really go towards making that curriculum switch easy and enjoyable for your child is when that prescribed list of lessons is then multisensory, which the ShillerLearning curriculum, being Montessori based, absolutely is. One of the many things I personally, as someone who's used it for many years now, enjoys is that it is no lesson prep. It's just open and go. I had started off trying to do Montessori homeschooling on my own and putting things together myself, it really took a lot of time. So this is such a time saver. If you're not using ShillerLearning curriculum, be sure to add multisensory elements to your program if it doesn't already have it. So that visual, seeing is believing, tactile, things to get their hands on, auditory, things like listening and singing to music. ShillerLearning has over 100 educational songs for math and language arts included with our curriculum. And then kinesthetic. This is a big one that, especially as kids get into those upper elementary years, seems to disappear from so many programs. You want to keep body movement incorporated into their learning. Okay, and this is really a very simple, easy to follow recipe for making, whether it's a mid-year curriculum switch or you are, getting ready to pull your child from public school or switch from the school-led distance learning and doing homeschooling on your own. Or you're looking at starting your next school year with a brand new program. This diagnostic testing is a key to making that successful whenever that is happening. Again, there is a free promo code so that if you don't have ShillerLearning curriculum or if you are trying to decide between kit levels, you can go ahead and get that testing absolutely 100% free with that promo code. Okay, so we did incorporate a couple of questions into the presentation. Okay, and it looks like we do have a question that is being direct message, so we are not going to end quite yet. Oh, by the way, today is the last day for the ShillerLearning New Year New Start sale. You save 15% on kits, which is a really nice discount. That's actually going to give you $60 off Math Kit 1. And our kits, by the way, you get free lifetime access to downloads of all of your printed material so that a mere one-time purchase works for all of your kids forever for those grade ranges. So for example, Math Kit 1 is that pre-K to pre-algebra, and no, not pre-K to pre-algebra, pre-K to third, I'm sorry. Math Kit 2 is fourth through pre-algebra. But so that kit will cover pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade concepts. So all 5 of those years for everyone in the family without having to purchase anything additional. And there is a promo code that you can add free shipping to that. That promo code also expires today along with the sale, and that is New Year. Promo code New Year will get you free shipping. So we are really pumping you full of promo codes today. You've got a promo code for free shipping, another for the free diagnostic testing. The free diagnostic testing promo code does not expire. So if you already have some of the materials, we do have different kit options. So for Math Kit 1, we actually have 3 kit options. There's the full Math Kit 1, which is Math Kit 1 without any designation after its name, and that has all of your printed material, the physical audio CD, and the full set of manipulatives, all the materials that you use over those 5 years. There's also Math Kit 1 Basic. So if you are using Montessori Golden Bead material, or you already have a significant volume of base 10. Now, ShillerLearning curriculum does use more than a standard base 10 set. So it's 100 unit cubes, 27 or 28 10 rods, 2,700 flats, and then a total of 17 of the 1,000 cubes. So, if you are going to use base 10 that you already have, just make sure that you have enough. And if you have that, then Math Kit 1 Basic may be a good option for you, because it's going to give you all the same printed material, just not, and the music and the, lifetime access to the free downloads, but not the full set of manipulatives. And that decimal material is the big ticket item that is not included in the Math Kit 1 Basic. And for all of our kits, we also have a digital option. And what that is, it's simply a PDF download of all your printed material, MP3 downloads of your music, and then some printable manipulatives. So generally, there will be items that will be supplied by the educator when you're going with that digital option. If you love ebooks and PDF files, then the digital kits are a fabulous way to go. Very budget friendly. You can use the PDF files with a PDF annotator app, and with that annotator app, it allows the kids to, draw, write, color, type right into the PDF file. But it's still stepping you through all of those same multisensory activities. So they're not, in the book for every lesson, because they're doing such a variety of learning activities. Okay, so it looks like Amanda has answered all of the questions that were coming into her, and I have answered all of the questions coming into me. Check out the schedule that was in the email today on the upcoming sessions for the rest of January. We have some fun sessions on nomenclature cards, probability. Probability activities are one of the things that we have a lot of fun with in our house. We really hand those up. So I'm going to enjoy that session, and we will see you again Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the videos. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an honor to have you.